Hi everybody, this is Bill Knight. I am in my office here in room 2019 in Marlborough Hall at Prince George's Community College. I'd like to talk some about your next assignment for Quiz 6. That will be on chapters 8 and 9. Now both of those chapters concern production costs. There are two types of production costs we'll be interested in: long-run costs and short-run costs. Okay. Now, the long run and the short run, as you learned in Chapter 7, is not a specific period of time, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, anything like that. But it is a period of time that is so short that a firm cannot change its plant capacity. That is, its plant capacity is fixed. And secondly, we don't have to worry about other firms entering or exiting the industry. So if a firm size is fixed, that means if it can produce a maximum of 100 units a month, then it can produce anywhere between 0 and 100 during that period of time, but cannot exceed 100. Chapter 9, however, concerns the long run, which is another set of issues. So we'll deal with that in a little while, but for now, let's deal with the short-run costs. So short-run costs, we'll call them total costs. Total costs consists of two types of costs. That would be fixed costs and variable costs. Total cost is equal to fixed costs plus variable costs. Now, fixed costs are those costs that you're going to incur irrespective of how many widgets you produce. Whether you produce your plant capacity, say 100 widgets per period, or you produce 0. Even if you totally shut down, you're going to still incur these fixed costs. These are contractual costs that you cannot get out of. Things like the rent on the factory if you have a lease, or the insurance premiums that you're required to pay over the next 6 months, or whatever, stuff like that. Variable costs, on the other hand, are costs that you can control. These are costs that will fluctuate with output, and clearly, the more output you produce, the higher the variable cost will be. This will be things like labor, other resources, electricity, stuff like that. Now, if we were to show the relationship between total costs, fixed costs, and variable costs on a graph, it would look something like this. Let that graph represent the relationship between costs, as expressed in dollars, let me get closer here, and output, which we will represent as Q, or quantity. Now, let's look and see what the fixed costs relationship will look like. Let's say that your fixed costs are $100 per period. Whether a period is a day or a week or a month, it doesn't matter. So let's say that right here on this axis, that's $100. So, whether you produce 0, or 1, or 2, or 3, or however many units of output, your fixed cost relationship is going to look like this. Notice that irrespective of the quantity you produce, your fixed costs are going to be constant. That's what makes them fixed. Your variable costs, on the other hand, different proposition. If you produce 0 units of output, you're going to have 0 variable costs. But as you produce more output, your variable costs are going to rise. As a result, your variable cost curve will be positively sloped, owing to the direct relationship between the amount or quantity of output produced and the variable cost. So we'll call this the variable cost curve. Now, if we want to see what total cost looks like, notice that total cost will be the sum of fixed costs and variable costs. So we're going to want to add this distance right there, that distance, onto our variable cost curve at every level of output. When output is 0, our total cost will be there because variable cost will be 0. And the total cost curve will slope up like this. Notice how it will be parallel to the variable cost curve. So that will be total cost. Notice that the difference between total cost and variable cost is fixed costs. Okay? Just make sure you have that one now, and we'll go on to the next video.